Blade Warband is one of the best sandbox games ever made. The game features a single-player mode, skirmish battles, and a multiplayer mode. I will be mainly focusing on the single-player aspect of this game. The single-player mode of this game is the most interesting and complex part it offers. You start out creating your character by choosing different answers to various questions, distributing skill points, and customizing your character. After getting attacked by a bandit, a merchant walks up to you, takes you to his hideout, and asks you if you want to do a quest for him. After this introductory scene, the game completely opens up and leaves you in this medieval world without giving you any directions, tips, or quest markers. This game's gameplay is consistent of three main components that are always present throughout the game. The three main components of this game are: first, the world map, second, menus, and third, maps. The world map depicts your group and groups of different factions and criminals roaming and traveling the land of Calradia. You can seek out villages, cities, and groups of people roaming the world like armies, bandits, or peasants. How you interact with locations and people, though, is completely up to you. The menus and dialogue windows are a big part of this game too, and you will see a lot of them in your adventure through Calradia. After you interacted with something in the world map, let's say a city, you are greeted by a menu giving you different options. There are always neutral and hostile options to choose. You can, for example, visit a city to buy supplies, or you can besiege this city and try to conquer it. You can go to a village and hire men as mercenaries. Or you can plunder the village and steal the peasants' cattle. This game is menu and text heavy, and all of your decisions outside of battle are made within a menu. The menus are really easy to learn and are universally the same when it comes to cities, villages, and encounters with most of the NPCs in the game. I see maps as the actual places you can move around in as your avatar. Maps would include taverns where you can meet ransom brokers, mercenaries, companions, and talk to various other NPCs. Cities where you can find guild masters and every location you can choose in the city menu. Villages, castles, jail cells, and of course the battlefields and arenas you fight in. In Blade you can get your hands on various items throughout your adventures, most important of which would be food, which you need to feed your army and keep morale up with. Other than food, you can also obtain valuable goods that you can sell, books that you can read over the course of a game to increase certain skills, and of course weapons, armor, cavalry, and prisoners. Melee weapons include, for example, bladed weapons, lances, quarterstaffs, blunt weapons, and your fists. Ranged weapons would be throwing weapons, crossbows, and bows. When it comes to armor, there is a whole lot of variety too. You can buy helmets, gloves, body armor, and leg armor, and combine different parts however you like. Blade Warband, as you can maybe make out from the name itself, is all about forming a warband. First you start seeking out men that are willing to fight alongside you. For those, you look around in villages to see if you can find any volunteers that you can hire. Alternatives would be hiring prisoners from defeated enemy groups, or hiring mercenaries you find in taverns. The people you hire do gain experience points and can be trained and promoted. When you promote a soldier, he becomes a more specialized unit, but also costs a bit more to keep in the group. The soldiers can be trained to be infantry units, horseback units, or ranged units. Of course, it's a bit of an oversimplification. Companions are a bit different. They'll still have to be hired, but they have far more complexity to them. They offer certain skills that benefit the whole group, and you can give them better equipment that they might need. A companion can even have a property assigned to later on. You are an important puzzle piece too, of course, as the leader of a warband. You always earn more experience by killing enemies, completing quests, winning arena tournaments, and by simply using certain weapons. Your character is constantly progressing and leveling up, and you can figure out a character build along the way. The leveling system is a bit of a mix between the learning by doing approach that is also visible in other RPGs and the standard skill point distribution system. The combat in Mount & Blade consists of your character fighting against others, of course, and commanding your men in battle. You can command different groups individually, like the infantry only or the cavalry only, but you can also command everyone. The ranged combat is rather simple. You hold the left mouse button to aim and release it when you want to shoot. What is far more interesting is the melee combat. The melee combat is easy to learn but hard to master. Basically you have 4 directions to attack and block from: left, right, up and down. When someone attacks you with an overhead slash, meaning the sword comes from above, you have to block in that direction to defend yourself. Directional combat is also good to use to target weak spots and unarmored parts of the body. Bladed weapons are lethal and kill enemies, while blunt weaponry is used to knock out enemies, which you can capture and sell later on to a ransom broker. So, now you know the basics of Mount & Blade Warband. What now? Well, anything you want really. Mount & Blade gives you complete freedom. You can decide to just join a faction and stick with them. You can raid villages to steal their goods for your own fortune. You can besiege a castle and claim it as your own. And you can try to conquer and unite the whole continent. There are quite a few things I didn't touch on. For example, how the politics and enterprises work, or that you also can expand your properties with additional buildings. This game has a lot to offer and a lot for you to discover on your own. The game is an endless power struggle between various forces. Even when you lose a battle, your character actually never dies. Same goes for the other lords. No one dies or vanishes off the map entirely. For me it is part of the flair this game provides. You start seeing the same faces, remember them, and try to get revenge on the lords who last defeated you. Sometimes you make a really unwise decision and doom your entire army and have to start all over again. Sometimes you manage to win in a battle, which its odds were clearly stacked against you. Judging by my playtime and the playtime of many people that gave a review of this game on Steam, I had a lot of fun with this game already, of which 100 hours most likely go to the native game and the rest to the Napoleonic Wars DLC. But there is more that makes this game worthwhile. Another aspect to this game that ensures its longevity with almost endless fun and value is the immense mod support this game provides. When you start the game, you're greeted with a launcher where you can select the DLC or mod you want to play. The modding community for Warband is one of the best out there, and many total conversions, multiplayer and gameplay overhaul mods are out there. So, when you maybe get bored of a normal base game, check out some mods to spice things up. There is a lot of amazing stuff out there. I hope I provided you a proper introduction to this game I personally deeply enjoy, and I hope that you will have at least as much fun as I have had with it up until now, if you decide to check it out yourself. Have a great day.